All right, Saturday night. No poker last night on Friday. Too tired and too late after eating out with the fam bam. Headed back out there. A little bit of a late start. Gonna get there around 9 o'clock at the old home casino, the K-Star. Best 1-3 action in the world. Looking to play probably 5 hours till about 2.
But I had thoughts of doing a marathon session today, coming in at noon and leaving at 2 in the morning. Well, that's not going to happen. But it is about 9:15, and we're going to look at play around 5 hours. So we'll stick around until just after 2, which is when it starts to slow down anyway. Hopefully we can grab some chips and leave with them. And I was still here. I can't remember the last time I this slowly lost about $300 just by folding and folding and folding, not being able to bet, and hardly not a single hand really of no. But I don't feel that tired, so I'm gonna stick around for a while. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get some hands now, and I'll try to record a few. Anyway, that was pretty brutal. You heard, I told you earlier, it was like a slow bleed early. Like rarely even saw a turn. Slowly lost about 250. Topped up, topped up, topped up. Ground it back up to about 750. I was in for 800. And then we got short-handed. Long story short, I should probably not play long hours. I've never preferred it. I kind of wanted to give it a shot today anyway. I just don't think I really play that good, as the hands can attest to. And this isn't all of them, but I also made sure to put some hands in there that I know I played horribly. But I'm gonna head back home and try to get these videos together. So, pretty meh weekend and not good enough. We'll try to start over probably on Monday. I don't think I'm gonna come back tomorrow. All right.
All right, it's about 9:11 a.m. I'm gonna turn the radio down, a little sports talk there. On the way down to the Kansas Star Monday morning, 9:11 a.m. or 8:11 a.m. Sorry, I haven't changed my clocks because daylight savings is over. Didn't play poker yesterday. Slept most of the day because I played that marathon poker session. I wouldn't say truly a marathon, but an all-night poker session. That was longer than I really wanted to. I probably should have played. On Saturday, they're starting a new promotion. Or it's more of the return of a normal promotion, I guess you could say. They're doing high hands from 9 in the morning on the hour, from 9 in the morning till noon, and then again from 3 to 6 on, I believe, Mondays and Tuesdays this month, which is November. And we are headed down to the Kansas Star to take advantage of that right now. Bit of a weird situation. Not going to be filming any hands for sure today because Max, my son Max, has misplaced my cell phone, the iPhone, and it is also out of power, so I can't locate it. I looked for it. He's looked for it. Neither one of us has found it. So, not going to be filming. And added to the stress of today, hopefully this doesn't put me on tilt in poker, but I think it won't. He has also been clamoring to stay home from school. He had a 99.1 temperature, which is nothing in my opinion. So that puts us in a bit of a different, dire predicament. Now his mom's number is there for the school to call if he's really so sick he has to go home as well. But once I get to the poker room, I am going to ask one of my fellow players if I can borrow their phone so I can call his mom and let her know that that Max is maybe calling, clamoring, trying to get home from school today. Because he has no way, and the school has no way to reach me. So I'll give her a call, we'll get in a game. Hopefully things go fine and I can play till around 6 o'clock this evening. But you don't know how it's going to happen. So we're going to try to get the week started off right here on this Monday morning. High hands for 3 hours, a little break, then high hands for 3 more hours. Then I'll probably get on out of here.
I don't know if you know this, but they say that at one time when it was built, that Hampton Inn behind me, they say when it was built, it was the world's largest Hampton Inn. Who knows? It'll be the usual drill. In for 300. Got a whole gang of money behind, and we'll see what we can come up with. Okay, played about 2 hours 45 minutes. It is lunchtime, noon. Did not get any high hands, down about 50 bucks at the moment. Not too many interesting hands, I guess 2 of note. First decently interesting hand, I start from the hijack with 10-7 spades. There's a couple of limps. I make it 18 to go. The button calls me. I'd say he's a regular, typical loose passive player. Everyone else folds. Flop is 9-6-5. Rainbow flop. I check. Villain checks. Turn is a king of clubs, bringing on a backdoor flush draw. This time I bet out $20. I bet $20. Villain calls pretty quickly. The river is a blank. I lead out for $35 now. And the villain pretty quickly calls. I say 10 high. And he shows a pair of 7s. So obviously making sense that he calls on the turn. Maybe I should have sized it a little bit bigger on the river. And maybe I should think about playing 10-7 pre-flop. Only other really interesting hand, there was an early position raise from solid player. He raises to 16, opens to 16. He gets 2 callers, and I bump it up to 55 from the small blind with ace queen offsuit. It doesn't take him too long to fold his hand. Interesting part here, second caller from middle position calls, I got it, or he folds. Sorry, the first caller folds, and the button, who had also called, was going to fold, and I thought the hand was over, and I mucked my hand. Luckily, he's a nice guy, and he said I was going to fold anyway, and we take it down. So, interesting little debate over the rules went down on that one. But my food is ready, so I'm going to eat it, and we'll get back in the action. Well, as you can see, my stack's grown a bit, which is a good thing. Pretty straightforward game. Not the loosest or gambliest, but that's the way it usually goes in the morning. Couple interesting hands. I'd say the most interesting hand is a hand that oftentimes I would raise before the flop, but I pick up Jack 10 with a Jack of clubs, Jack 10 on the suit, and the cutoff, I believe. Several limps to me. I decided this time to just limp along, and 6 of us see the flop, I believe, maybe 5. Flop comes out really nice. 7, 8, 9, 2 clubs. It checks to under the gun, who leads out for $20. Under the gun plus 1 calls the bet. And of course, I flop gin, so I'm going to raise it. I raise it to 70. Folds back around to under the gun. He thinks about it and then moves all in for about $200. Under the gun plus 1. Calls pretty quickly. He's an old man, really tight. And I obviously don't think too much about it after it gets back to me. I put him all in for an extra $20 or so. Board runs out 10 brick, and the flop straight is good. Big pot. much of the reason I have built a decent size stack. Got a kings a couple of times, won some medium-sized pots, jacks a couple of times, won a smallish pot on that hand. One other interesting hand. And unfortunately, I might have to do something here because I just had 2 security jackets come up and tell me that I can't film in the casino. Anything in the casino floor, not allowed to film. So this might make in-casino vlog stuff pretty difficult going forward. I'll have to talk to somebody to see if I can get permission. Anyway, back at it. It's about 3:30 right now. I've been playing for about 6.5 hours. So we'll be heading back in there. Well, that's all she wrote for today. It's just before 6. Cashed out of the game at 5:50. I believe the game started at right around 9:15 this morning. Unfortunately, I did not get a high hand $100 promotion, but that's neither here nor there. Went in for 400, out for 955. Had my stack up to near 1200 at one point. Since the last time we spoke, not too many other interesting hands. Did have one where I flat called a middle position raise from a pretty tight player with pocket 4s. It was heads up to the flop. He only had about I'd say probably $150, $140 to start the hand. Flop was King 8-4 with 2 clubs. He leads out for $25. I min raise, hoping he'd stick the rest in to 50. And of course he does oblige, and the gentleman tabled pocket aces. I tabled pocket 4s for my set. I'm not exactly sure what the run out was, but we held. And then the last decent interesting hand of the day, I opened a pair of 5s, pair of red 5s from late position to 15 over a couple limpers. Went 4 ways to the flop. Flop again, pretty good. It was 3, 4, 7, 2 clubs. Checks to me. I put out a bet of $35. I think I'm usually pretty good here, and if I'm not, at least I have some draw equity. Shorter stack, calls to 35 and goes all in for 110 more. Folds back around to me, kind of deliberated a little bit, and I figure if he's got any flush draws in his range, I should be calling. So I call. I turn over my hand, and the board runs out, and then he tables 7-8 offsuit, and he holds. That was about negative 150 on that hand. But like I said, finished the day plus 555, in for 400, out for 955. Played for about 8.5 hours today. Also, after the session was over, I caught up with a guy I used to work with, who is one of the pit managers, and talked to some other security people trying to get permission to film, as long as, of course, I don't show faces. And they said that I need to talk to HR. They're in Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. Hopefully, I can get permission to film in there. That'd be real cool. Anyway, that's it for today. We'll be back tomorrow for some more poker.
All right, Tuesday morning, November 7th. Missed Lions Club pancakes today, downtown Newton. Forgot it was from 6 to 7 in the morning, so me and Max did not wake up, just dropped him off at school. It is about 10 after 8 on the way to the Kansas Star. Should be there in time for the 9 o'clock game. Gonna be much the same story as yesterday. Luckily, I do have my phone, and I will try to get in contact with someone from HR or something about filming in the casino. Until then, I'll just keep some hand notes, maybe snap a picture or two, film my chips maybe with my phone. I don't even know if I should do that, but I'll take some notes, and then you know, we'll know whether we won or lost. I'm a little worried. I went last night to put together the video from last week, the Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Saturday I think it was. I'm hoping I'm not missing some video, but I may be. Anyway, we're on our way down there, listening to Mike and Mike interview Ric Flair on the radio right now. But heading on down there, let's see if we can get a win. Gonna try to stay till 6, so another 9-ish hour, 8.5 hour session probably will happen. They're doing the promotion high hands from 9 to noon, and high hands from 3 to 6 this morning. There's a tournament tonight, which brings in a decent amount of people for a weeknight, but I'm not planning on staying all night. So we'll be morning and afternoon today.
From the fabulous lobby of the Hampton Inn, Mulvane, Kansas. Got the fireplace going behind me. Been at the game for about 3 hours. It's 12:30 now. I just ate lunch. Up, as you saw, about $100. It is safe to film in here. And we have 3 hands to go over.
First hand to note, we are early in the game, 6-handed. We are on the button with 7-4 of clubs. It folds around to us. We decide to open it up for $10. The big blind, a somewhat tricky older gentleman, makes the call. The flop is ace 10-8, heart spade heart. Big blind checks. We're going to go ahead and continue our story. We put out a half pot size bet, $10. The big blind makes the call. Turn comes a 10 of spades, pairing the board and bringing a backdoor flush draw. Big blind once again checks. We decide to continue that story. This time we bet $25, and the big blind pretty quickly makes the call here. I think he's got a lot of draws in his range, more than value hands. I think if he had any value hands here, he'd bet out or check raise us, as we've played with him many, many times. The river is a 4 of spades, which obviously brings the backdoor flush draw home, but it does give us a small pair and something that we might be able to bluff catch with. The big blind bets $40 into 90. We think about it, $40 into about $90. So after a bit of deliberation, knowing the player is capable of making small bluffs with his missed draws, we go ahead and pay him off. This time he shows us king, queen, spade, spade for the backdoor flush draw. He did have the Broadway draw the entire time, and so he takes that one down. Alright, next interesting hand finds us on the button again. This time we have a much stronger hand. We look down at ace-ace, pocket rockets. An early position player makes the raise to 13. The cutoff, usually tight aggressive player, perhaps limps too much. 3 bets to $40. And now we've got a bit of a decision. I deliberate flat calling, but in the end I decide I'm just going to play it straightforward. I make the 4 bet to $90. The initial raiser folds, and the cutoff then decides to shove for the total 220. Of course, I snap him off, and my hand is good. He does not table whatever he called it with. I think he said he had pocket queens. So that's a nice little pot for us.
Outside of the two big win hands, kind of a whole lot of nothing. Ran the stack up to about 650 at one point, but slowly bled it down multiple times. Raise pre-flop, get multiple callers with, and I'm just not going to c-bet and try to take down pots with no outs against multiple players. So we're going to head back in there, get after it, and see what we can do here. Going to play till about 6 today. Splash pots, or not splash pots, high hands will start back at 3, which really makes no difference to me. Let's see if we can get this, keep this rolling.
Alright, it didn't take too long after I got back from my little break there for the next big pot to brew. The first hand I have King, Queen, Club, Club, and the low jack. There's a couple limps to me. I make it $18. The button, who's a decently tight older gentleman, gives the call. Two others call as well. $66 to the flop of 8, 6, 10 with 2 clubs. It checks to me. I go ahead and make the c-bet with the semi-bluff. 2 callers. And the turn's pretty good for me, I think. King of hearts. So now, along with the club draw, I now have top pair, good kicker. I can now bet for value against any 10, maybe a pair of jacks, so maybe a pair of queens, because a tight player may flat queens in these games. Obviously, I'm losing to sets. There's possible straights out there, but we fire off the bet of $80. The button then goes all in for $150, and my bet I did commit myself, kind of on purpose. Early position folds, and of course we snap it off. River is a queen, offsuit queen, giving us top 2 pair, but alas, that is no good because the villain shows us pocket 8s for a flopped set of 8s. Nice answer. So a $200 ding on that hand, and we kind of bide our time until we look down at King 10 offsuit in middle position. This is King Diamonds, 10 of hearts, and under the gun straddled pot. We open in middle position to $25. It folds around to the straddler, who's a gambly, loose player who loves to play big pots. And boy, does the flop oblige. King, Queen, King, heart, heart. The straddler had checked dark. We lead out for $35. He bumps it up to 100. We think for a bit, a good 45 seconds on just how to approach this hand. Obviously, it's not the strongest trip kings out there, but it's such a wet board, even though it's paired for a player like him. I just don't think I want to play around. We shove in our last $300 or so, and he thinks about it for about 10-15 seconds, and he puts it all in there. The turn is a 4 of spades, and the river is an offsuit queen, giving me the full boat. And my hand is good.
Good game, guys.
Well, that's all she wrote for today. Didn't quite stay till 6. Put in about 8 hours. 7 hours, 45 minutes to be exact. In for 500. Out for 11.15. So plus 6:15 for the day. Headed back home.
And I almost forgot to mention when I was editing this video, I did get a high hand. Quad deuces with an ace kicker managed to hold up for about 50 minutes, and that earned me $100.